Welcome back to Talking Europe. We saw in the first half our panel was pretty confident that tourism is the bright spot in EU economies. Greece gets something like 24% of its GDP from holidaymakers, a vital sector to a country still struggling with a debt load of 380 billion euros. The threat of terrorism elsewhere is said to have been a boon for Greek tourism, but the arrival of hundreds of thousands of refugees has changed the image of some of its islands as carefree getaways. Well, to tell us more about this and how Greece is doing in general, we're joined now by Tourism Minister, Ms. Elena Kountoura. Ms. Kountoura, you are from the right-wing Independent Greeks Party and NEL, in coalition, of course, with the left-wing Syriza. Thanks very much for your time. We're going to start looking. Statistics suggest that Greece has had an exceptionally good summer season.
Yes, it's true. 2016 started really very dynamic. We were very happy because we are really up to the numbers, about 6% increase since last year, 2015. That was a record year.
So how do you explain this increased attractiveness of Greece? Is it because of the threat of tourism elsewhere, like some analysts say?
No, last year we really drawn and implement our new touristic strategy, which gave us all these great results. And we're very happy because altogether we try in a difficult year, 2015. You remember, with political negotiations, with elections, with a lot of economical problems. We implement this new strategy, which has prolonged the season, at the same time open up new thematic products, open up new Greek destinations, make good deals to bring direct flights from other countries, open up new markets that they have a high quality and be able high purchasing capacity.
Okay.
So all this together, and also attract new investments, gave us this result. Last year was a great year. This year was very difficult for all the very sad events that you mentioned before. Yes,
arriving.
We had a lot of problems, negative publicity, a lot of competition, but I think is everything under control, and we're doing really well.
Do you think the hundreds of thousands of refugees that have arrived, notably onto Greece's third largest island, Lesbos, what kind of impact is that having on tourism?
Well, listen, last year was a problem because this thing is not like a Greek issue. This is a global issue, and we did our right. It's our duty was to be, first of all, to these people open and respect their rights, respect their dignity. We think, we're very proud because we sent a message all over the world and all over Europe.
But do you think
of
tourists
solidarity.
are more callous? Do you think tourists had the same reaction?
Yes, they did. Actually, here from France is really incredible. They came so many tourists to support this effort. It was incredible. And last year I was here and I thanked all the French people that they came to support Greece and to help, because I think the most important thing is this message of culture, of solidarity, of love. And we're very proud that we did that. And now things are very, very smooth. Things are very good, and also Europe has to do her duty as well, and Turkey her duty as well too.
Indeed, that Turkey-EU deal that was signed last March, how important is that, do you think, for Greece?
It's important for all Europe, not only for Greece. I insist, this is not a Greek issue, this is a European issue. Our Prime Minister says with all the words and all the ways that this is an issue that Europe has to see and has to deal with respect to the human rights.
But we saw like a decrease, a massive decrease in the numbers of people arriving into Greece with that Turkey-EU deal. But I believe in recent weeks, there's still hundreds arriving, are there not?
There are not that many. The total number, as I know in Greece, that they're in the identification centers, they're about 60,000, which is an okay number, and they get all the help they need, and then they go wherever they want to go. These identification centers are far away from tourist areas, so we had no impact, and we will not have any impact. But the most important thing is that we have to be humans first.
Absolutely. Well, let's just look this week briefly at one news story. It was a fire that broke out in Lesbos. Thousands of refugees there had to flee once again. The Moria camp already under some criticism from NGOs who say conditions at this and a number of other migration and refugee detention centres are unacceptable. Elliot Richardson reminds us of this week's events.
The Moria camp in flames. 30% of the camp was destroyed as temporary homes burnt to the ground. The fire is believed to have broken out after rumours of imminent mass deportations, although other witnesses say an argument over food caused the blaze. The island is hosting around 5,400 refugees, 2,000 more than its capacity. Some 4,000 people were forced to flee as the fire spread.
We are refugees here. We are all the same situation. The situation of every country is bad. We know that. Just because of that, we are refugees. So we have to respect ourselves and we have to give the respect and take the respect.
9 people have been arrested under suspicion of starting the blaze. No injuries were reported, but children have been taken to a temporary shelter in the Greek capital, Athens. Refugees who arrive in Lesbos are forced to stay until their asylum applications are processed. Tensions are often frayed.
The fact that these people, some of them on months end, have been stranded in this island with very little information about the fate of their asylum procedure, of what is going on, any information at all. And also being trapped in these appalling conditions with very little food, very little care for them. It's very little surprise that these things escalated to this point.
The Greek government promised to send a ship to hold at least 1,000 migrants as a temporary overflow measure, plus additional riot police. Some 60,000 migrants are stranded in Greece as they attempt to reach Western Europe. The country is still under crippling pressure from migrant arrivals.
Well, following that fire, one Greek minister called again on the EU to give more useful aid, as he said, to Greece. He said a lot of the money being sent was going through NGOs and they were failing to spend it properly. Is that an issue? Is Greece getting financially even the aid it needs?
First of all, I have to say that this is an isolated incident. We don't have things like that in Greece. And actually, all our islands are ready to receive the tourism. Tourists are there already. We have testimonials that they have the best time. So this it's something negative that I have to mention, and I have to say that is really an isolated incident. Also, I think that Europe has to, and our government has to find the right way to support this very, very important issue, because these people are, different nationalities, they're coming from different countries, they have their own problems, and it's not always easy to live all together. They need to spend some time there, get their identification and leave. This is the purpose of these centers. And we think that we really do our best, but we need the European help. We need Europe to do her duty as well.
And do you think that there's a better way for Europe to help Greece? Is there, a more direct line of help rather than what's being done today?
Well, the thing is that the Prime Minister speaks with all the other presidents and ministers of the European Union, and I think they should find really a solution, because this is, as I said before, a European issue that affects everybody.
Yeah, and Greece just happens to be the country where people arrive into most. Now, you differ from your coalition, Syriza Party, on a lot of things, but I think you're both united really in your dislike of the bailout reforms, the process that Greece has had to enter into. Where is Greece on these bailout reforms? I believe we're expecting, in order to get that next amount of money from the bailout, there's new measures on the cards to appease creditors?
No, it's not true. Our Prime Minister a few months ago did this new deal for the evaluation, and now we're going to the development. For us, the goal is to change, to do all the reforms. Unfortunately, we had obligations that we couldn't, pass since we had the New Deal. It's very sad. We didn't want that. Like, for example, certain taxes that we had to implement, but these are coming from the past. Now, for us, the goal is to do the reforms, so to get better in our economy. Tourism is one way. Tourism is a source, economical source, that will help our national economy, and this is very important for us.
One thing I was reading, that VAT on food and even on accommodation is going to be increased, and one wonders then how quickly might you put yourself out of the price market on tourism?
Well, to be honest, we are very good in economy as well, like value for money. The touristic package are already very, very cheap. They're much, much better than all Europe. We are still competitive. So we try to manage, make sure that we do all the reforms, and once we are ready, then we have to reduce everything.
Is the government investing as much in tourism as it did in the past, or is that something that's also lost out on budget because of it is?
It's a priority. Now we invest so much more. We try also to get our image better because some negative and unfortunate publicity for many things through all these years.
Also during the economic crisis, people felt they couldn't get money in Greece.
And we have to show to the people the reality, the truth, that Greece is a beautiful country that has so many things to offer, can spoil every tourist, but also everybody, every visitor that come to visit our country, not only because we are, a complex of island and we can offer so many varieties of vacation, but also you can do business there because we want to attract the investors. We have so many things and so many opportunities right now.
You mentioned there part of the reforms. There were some very harsh measures, even concerning Greek airports, were they not? That there was a lot of things that Greece was having to sell off. Does that not have an impact on?
Well, no. I think everything that is to evaluate and to develop, it's much, much better. Like the Greek airports, unfortunately, the governments before, they left them in their own luck. They didn't do anything. So now we need to have all this modernization and try to renovate and try to have better infrastructures for the tourism, not only the airports, but also the marines and the roads. We need to become better and better to have better quality and better services.
Tourism is credited, I believe, with creating 8 out of 10 new jobs over the past year in Greece.
Yes.
What kind of jobs? Are these long-term investments or are these summer jobs?
Well, used to be summer jobs, but right now we prolong the season. So we make our season 2016 started April and finished November. And also we have the winter time, which we're trying with all the thematic products that we have to have 365 days tourism a year, because it's very important to know that we have the best weather. We really are not a country only for the summertime, but we are a country with history, with culture, with a lot of things to share, and also city break. We can have like wonderful, weekends, long weekends. So we can offer so many things to tourism, to tourists.
That you think it's just a lack of awareness among tourists.
Exactly, and the Greek, let's say, new national strategy we have opens up all these ways.
Because, it is obviously in the EU, but it's quite a long enough flight for a lot of other European nations. I believe the British are your most popular tourists after Germany. We saw them vote for a Brexit. We saw the pound, as a result, fall in value. Did that see a drop in British tourists?
Well, as you said, we have an increase to all our traditional markets like Germans, British, French. We're very happy about that because they consider Greece as the favorite vacation and they vote for this. So we're very proud.
But you think the Brexit, when it happens, that will have an effect on Greek tourism?
I don't think so. The truth is that all the unfortunate things that are happening with the refugees, with the terrorists, with all the really sad situations, the only thing that make British, German or French is not to travel. But when they travel, they do prefer Greece. Because we saw some reduce, like in Germany, 20% they stay in Germany. They didn't want to travel. The same thing here in France. Some they said, oh, things are very unstable, let's stay home. But when they start traveling and the people that they decide to travel, they choose Greece.
Well, indeed, apparently I've been told that according to the Condé Nast magazine, Greece is one of the most popular destinations in the world.
Well, actually, it was the first.
The first?
Yes, it was number one. And we're very proud of this because it seems like we are getting very close to our target to be the most attractive worldwide destination.
And is that do people come to Athens or is it more your islands?
They go everywhere. They go to Athens, of course, but they don't stay long. They travel to the islands, and as I told you before, we can spoil you with so many choices. So you can have a great time, not only in the beautiful beaches, not only having a wonderful vacation and yachting, or really luxury, or adventure, or family.
And in the winter?
And in the winter,
We
you
can't
can
take the
have
boats.
ski resorts, you can go to the thermal sources, you can do anything you want. But the most important thing is that you're in a country that is very stable, very secure, and can offer you great food.
And hasn't been discovered until now. It would appear that the numbers are growing.
Well, yes, it's true, because we're authentic. It's the only country in the Mediterranean that is still so authentic, has so much to offer. It's a complex of island. The other complex of island is in Caribbean.
Okay, that will be
So-
your challenge then, to keep that authenticity when the numbers grow. Miss Elena Kountoura, thanks so much for your time. Thanks also to you at home for having watched. That brings us to the end of this edition of Talking Europe.